Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, love, attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. We are here for our end of the week, midweek / end of the week reading. Let's see what messages come through and what you all need to hear. And in the reading, as you guys know, I will always share the happenings in my life because they always seem to be on a collective level too. So let's call in our guides, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron. Please open sacred space. Please only allow the highest and whitest light messages to come through. Bless me, bless my cards, bless my viewers. I almost went out of order there. I almost did you guys first. Not that it matters, but it's just routine now. Okay. Lots of ego deaths are happening. I know I went through one. I actually went through probably my biggest ego death ever. And if you're unfamiliar with what an ego death is, it is when, here's an example, like say you become aware of something that you've been doing your whole life and you're like, oh my gosh, I was always people pleasing, or I was always looking for attention in this way. And you finally like, you see yourself doing it and it's so like, ew. It's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. People saw me do that. Other people who are, have transcended their certain layers of their egos, they probably have been watching me and probably been like judging me. Not that it matters, but it does feel horrible to be seen by others in something we can't see. I don't know about you guys, but I hate that. I hate when people can see things that I can't feel in myself and see, because it's like for me, for my pattern, it's a confirmation that I'm stupid and I'm doing something like, Michelle, here she goes again, doing something unconscious and stupid. And yeah, like I even have emotion just saying that out loud. So that's the pattern like coming out. I'm not stupid, but that's the part of me that held that belief system about myself is coming out, and it's like dying off. And one of my spiritual teachers, he always says it comes out through your eyes. Like your eyes just, you're crying it out. You're crying out your ego, and you're no longer believing that to be true, and you're no longer doing things that might make you look stupid, as society would say. So I feel like I spent the whole day doing nothing and just adjusting in my new bubble. So for all of you, when you go through an ego death, you first become aware, and normally the ego gets louder. So normally your ego gets louder. You start hating yourself more. You see all the stupid things in the past that you've done, so-called stupid, or maybe things that you really were poor choices, but you forgive it because you realize you didn't know any better. It was just a character playing out because that character was created in childhood that didn't get their needs met. So now you're looking to meet those needs, and you would do anything to get that need met. And now you're seeing how desperate and how vulnerable and how reckless you were. And you're just like, oh my God, why did I do that? I can't believe that. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. And then you stop the pattern, you see it now, but now you have to like adjust to your new bubble. Now you're kind of like, wait, I used to take action and I used to do things for a certain reason. Now there's no need to do it. So how do I live now? Like, how do I be in my body? So one of my mentors, my first mentor, she taught me that my personal genetic makeup with my human design is when I uncover something new in my world, I need a little time in that bubble to kind of like let it settle. I can't go too fast. If I go too fast, and if someone's trying to push me or I'm pushing myself to learn a million things at once, I get really, really depressed and I fall into a dark hole, because the pattern in me, the stupid part of me, confirms that. It's like, see, Michelle, you're stupid. You can't do it. So I have to be very gentle now that I'm aware of my pattern and how it shows up in me, and that voice that says, I can't learn new things. I always need somebody to help me. I can't survive on my own. I can't make sound decisions. Like that character usually tells me that all the time. So now that that's not there, I have to rewire myself. And it takes a while to get used to being in this new bubble. And you don't want to quickly jump into the new life and start creating a whole new business and start rebranding yourself, or start jumping into a new relationship, you have to like let it sink into your cells. You have to like feel it. So today I recommend this for all of you. Just take a day and just like notice yourself and how you are, and how when people text you, like how are you responding? You can see the desperate part of you before, maybe quickly responding. That used to be me about 3 years ago. My mentor taught me that, all about text etiquette. Like she would correct me when I would text her, and she just expanded me in so many ways. And I do that. I do that now with my clients, through email and text and stuff. Like I kind of set boundaries and let them know, like, hey, like, you can't just jump into somebody's phone and ask a question and just demand their time and energy. It's like showing up at their door and banging on their door, and they might be about to eat dinner. They might be in the bathtub. They might be, being intimate with their partner. You don't just show up in somebody's energy demanding it. You not pry, but you kind of like test the waters. You send a message, hey, if you're not busy and if you have time, I have a question I'd love to ask you. And it's kind of like asking before you come to somebody's house. So when we have an ego death, we have to like sit with that refinement. We're now new, we're now different. We got to practice this new way of being, this new way of thinking. We kind of don't want anybody in our bubble, even though it's okay because we can practice. But just letting, like last night I sat in front of the mirror being guided to pull an angel card for somebody out there. And this is also a message from your guides and angels that, like when I'm about to say a message, oh my gosh, I didn't even see this dropped out. It says, be honest with yourself. All of your feelings, even the difficult ones, have a message for you. Accept your truth. Let the source take it from there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so accept your truth. Your truth is that you're not a pattern. You are not a belief system. A belief system can die, but you're still here. A pattern can die, but you're still here. So who are we? We are awareness. We are the ones observing the character doing the thing. So when you are integrating and you're letting things just chill for a bit, you're the observer. You're watching yourself and how you're still drawn to do the habit, but now you catch it and now you're practicing stopping it. And you're like, okay, I'm going to text this person back differently. I don't need to please them. I don't need to create. I don't need to work. I can just be still and let this be. So when you're honest with yourself, and what I was going to say before is that your ego, when you're honest with yourself, your ego has no place, because the ego is the false part of you. It's not real. It's just the unmet needs. So if you can think of it like a costume, it's holding all of the unmet needs. It's wanting to be loved. It's wanting to be nurtured. It's wanting to be saved. It's wanting to be, have that fairy tale love story. It's all false. That's not reality. We hold everything that we need as the observer and as awareness. So when I picked up this deck, I was about to tell you that I sat in front of my mirror last night. I just sat crisscross applesauce and I just stared into my eyes. And I've done this many times when I want to connect to myself, when I want to celebrate myself and be so proud of who I am. When I want to grieve, I do this. I look dead in my eyes and I tell myself, like, this is what you've been through. Feel it. Like, freaking feel it right now. And when I connect with my eyes, oh my gosh, my body feels the whole thing. And I started doing that about 5 years ago. But last night I did it. And as I was pulling the card, I was about to tell you that. So I know that this is a message for those of you watching, for somebody that you need to sit down in the mirror when there's a quiet time, quiet space, whether you're going through an ego death or not. Just try it. Sit in front of the mirror and just look at your eyes. Look at the shape of your eyes. Just talk to yourself. Tell yourself that you're so proud of how far you've come. You're not judging your past decisions. You forgive yourself. It doesn't need to be formal. It doesn't need to be a ceremony. A lot of times people make out these like situations, these intimate moments with yourself. They make you think that you have to light incense and you have to make it a ceremony. That's just personal for each person. You don't have to do that. You can literally be coming home from the grocery store and nobody's home, put all the groceries away, sit in front of the mirror and just connect. Just be quick, sit down, be quick, meaning just make the choice and then settle in and don't rush that. When you're sitting in front of the mirror, you just see what comes up. It's almost like meditating. You're just sitting in the silence to see what thoughts come up. And if you're sitting there judging yourself, you know that that's the pattern. That's not who you are. And you have to be honest with yourself. And then as you sit there longer, I guarantee you're going to cry because you immediately connect to the part of you that is an unmet need. Because your soul has been looking for you to connect to it, but you've been running the pattern. You've been disconnected. And then when we finally see the pattern and we sit in the mirror, we're connecting with our soul when we look at our eyes. And then it's like, oh my gosh, this finally feels good. This is what I've been looking for. I've been texting people, doing things, trying to be successful, trying to make money, trying to manifest things. But what I really needed was to sit in front of a mirror and look at myself and just be okay with all that I am right now. So I do see this as spirit has their hands on your back, and she's smiling and she's in the present moment, knowing that she's protected, knowing that she is not her patterns. Okay. It can be such a brutal awareness. Like for me, I went on YouTube and I deleted like 700, and my phone just lit up when I said that. I deleted like 700 shorts. I had 700 shorts of just like my personal life, like me just sharing my workouts, me sharing going to the pool, me sharing laying out. And I just was so not her. I wasn't sharing for the purpose of teaching. I was sharing with the purpose of look at me. And I could clearly see it. And I was so disgusted by it. And not disgusted because I don't want to shame anybody else for doing it, but there was a pattern in me that if I'm not seen in a certain way, I don't feel loved because I wasn't seen at home. I was completely ignored. I was rejected. I wasn't wanted. I was sexually abused, physically abused. So my body is a big thing for me. If people admire my body, then that means I'm safe in the world and everything's okay. If I don't get compliments about my body, or if I don't have my body look a certain way, then that means I'm all over the place and I'm ungrounded. And that was just a pattern. It's just a belief system. That's not who I am. My body does not define me. I know, and I've been teaching about this. So that's why it's so cringeworthy, because I was teaching it, but yet I was still practicing and playing out the pattern clearly on social media for everybody to see. So it's really embarrassing. So I went in and I just was like, clean slate, deleting every selfie. I kept some of my car videos of me dancing and about manifestation, like this is your sign if a good song's on, because that felt genuine for me. Whatever video didn't feel authentic, I deleted it. And I actually went on my iCloud account. I highly recommend doing this too, because this also is a manifestation energy. I went into my iCloud account and I deleted 9,000 videos and pictures last night. I completely cleared the cloud. I didn't want any selfies, no bathing suit shots, no workout videos. I'm like, I don't need that anymore. That's not who I am. That was literally the pattern in me saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. And that's not me anymore. So I deleted it all. So message for somebody out there, you are free to clean the slate, take a better look at yourself, ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Why are you playing out this pattern? What need was not met in childhood that you can now sit in front of the mirror and say, I'm enough. I am enough. That's period. Like there's nothing else you need. And then when you keep saying it and you keep feeling it and you start crying and you just really feel into the moment, you're just connected to you and your heart chakra expands. Oh my gosh, if you want to open up your heart chakra, you have to do this mirror exercise. It will expand so much so you'll end up like cheering yourself on in the mirror. You're like, you did this in your lifetime, you did that, you helped inspire so many people. And it's so funny because after I did that exercise, I woke up this morning to the sweetest message on Instagram. It's like I deleted all those videos, right? And I deleted all of that facade of who I thought I needed to be admired and to be liked. So I let go of all of that. And then I get a message without all of that. And it was a student from probably 2000 and I don't even know, maybe 2011. She graduated back then and now she's probably in her 30s. But she literally she sent me a message and was just like, oh my God, Miss Thornton, I can't believe, I found you on Instagram. I hope you're doing well. You're the only teacher that literally changed the course of my life. And I got that message and I just was like, that's proof that I was in my authenticity and I was in alignment. So I called in somebody confirming that I'm loved just for being me and being who I am. And she's not saying that because I posted a video of myself and my body. So I hope that makes sense. Ooh, we have the Emperor card. I see this as the Emperor is watching and observing. This could also mean that the Emperor is going through this, like Divine Masculine is going through an ego death, just like I just described, or he's sitting back and watching you go through it. But normally when there's an inner divine feminine and divine masculine in all of us, we energetically are becoming more whole. So the more we let go of patterns, the more we say no to doing the things because we're doing it for validation or for attention. And it's wild now when you, I always say, like, get excited when you go through an ego death or when your wounds are surfacing or you have an old trauma that comes up, because soon it's going to leave your body. It's going to be cried out for your eyes. And then guess what? You get to live in your body without that pattern. And you've never lived in your body without that pattern before. So you're literally, when we talk about, I made a card in my Micah Magic deck. It's called Step Into the New You. That's what it is. You're literally releasing an old version of you. And now you get to experience your heart and your soul in this body without the pattern getting in the way. And so the divine masculine, the yin yang, and the divine feminine, it's kind of like they click into place when that happens because you're more connected to your soul. You've connected to your eyes and you're loving yourself and it just clicks. And I'm and I'm sensing I must be breathing in that candle. But divine masculine is energetically feeling this shift. So when you shift, your counterpart shifts. Maybe your spouse shifts. Maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever you're with. When you make change, people feel it. I also, I know that when we're manifesting and we're making these changes, because if you want to manifest anything into your life, you're going to have to go through ego deaths because you have to become the person that's ready to receive this new life. You can't receive it with all the patterns. The patterns will block it. They'll reject it. Please always write this down. Always remember this. If a manifestation is not coming into your life, it is because a pattern that you are living in is literally closing the door on the desire. You might be consciously saying, I want to win the lottery, or I want this dream partner. But if your pattern is saying you're unworthy, or you're going to blow it, or you're stupid, or you don't know how to make decisions with it, energetically, you're blocking it. So we have to go through these ego deaths. We have to purge the old version of us and then step into the new version. And it's a process. That's why everything gets worse before it gets better, because you're literally going through everything I just described that I'm going through. We have to face the parts of ourselves that are icky and ugly and embarrassing and forgive it because it's okay. You didn't know any better. And then once we release it, now we have space. I have space in my body now. I've integrated, I'm still integrating, I'm learning. And when we have space and we don't feel like we need to people please and we know we're worthy of receiving, our hands are open, that's when the manifestation drops in. There was something I was leaning towards. Dang it, I forgot why I started talking about manifesting. I think it was just the fact that your patterns are blocking it. So most of the people that book me for sessions from my sign videos or my angel numbers videos, they always hop on the Zoom and they're always wondering why it's not coming. And I sit there with this wealth of knowledge about how it shows up in my life when I'm not manifesting. I'm like, oh man, I got to go through an ego death first. So I try to quickly describe that to my clients, that there's some sort of fear. You have a fear of receiving this desire, and the pattern holds the fear. So always remember, anytime I say the word pattern, you're thinking about yourself wearing a costume that was created in childhood, maybe when someone made you feel shame or guilt, or you weren't allowed to be yourself, or be quiet, sit in the corner, shut up, or you get hit. All of these toxic words were said to you and you felt it. So then you put on this shield, this costume, and you zipped it up. Well, that costume has to be taken off if you want to manifest. And that's why I love doing what I'm doing, because I get to sit on Zooms with all of you beautiful people, and I get to help you unzip your costumes, and you get to step into the new you. And it's not as painful as you think. The only painful part is just seeing the old version of you and being like, ugh, and maybe knowing that other people saw it too. But that's okay. And if you hurt people, you know, in my older days, I was very quick to share information. I was not good at keeping secrets. I did it as like a protection mechanism. I also did it to be liked. And that bit me in the butt a bunch of times. So sometimes we can't heal the pattern until we mess up so bad that we get called out on it. Like somebody we really admire sees us doing the pattern, and it's really cringeworthy because you're like, oh shit, I just lied and they caught me in this lie. And the pattern won't stop until you get so embarrassed, or so some people go to jail for certain things. They have to learn the lesson. That's all that is. And then we have the wheel card. So balance, this is all about balancing the light and the dark. Look at her hands. Here's your shadow. You're balancing the patterns with soul. You're realizing that you don't have to hold on to the pattern anymore. You can let it go. This also is balancing your divine masculine, which is the light, and your divine feminine, which is the dark. So again, more yin yang energy, but she's standing on pentacles. So I see this as when you balance your inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine, money will come into your life. You'll start to learn how to attract more things, more experiences. So I just heard somebody might be saying like, yes, I want to manifest my special person. There's so many manifestation videos about that, about how to call in your dream partner. But if you think about it, if somebody has a pattern that they're unaware of, meaning somebody who's saying they're commenting or, I don't know, booking sessions and buying all these courses, trying to figure out how to manifest their soulmate or their twin flame or whatever it is, they're literally texting that from a pattern. My phone just lit up. Oh, it's my niece, Eva. Hi, Eva. And it's a pattern. If she writes me more, I'm going to pause. Oh, she just put, do you want to hang out today? Hold on real fast. I'm going to pause because she comes first. No offense, guys. Okay, we're back. We just made dinner plans. She's so cute. I love when my nieces and my nephews want to hang out with me. It makes me feel so good, so loved. Definitely not a pattern. I'm definitely in my soul when I'm with them. But I forget what I was saying. We manifest more when we balance our inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine. Let's get 10 Micah magic cards. We have 1, switch up your routines, co-create your days, release the past. Co-create your days means you have to do the manifestation workout, as I call it. Like if you want to call in, oh, now I remember what I was talking about. So many people are on channels and buying courses on how to manifest their twin flame or their soulmate. It's funny that my phone went off when I was talking about that too, now that I'm connecting the dots, but they're texting from the pattern. The pattern in them is looking for acceptance. They're looking for love. They're thinking this other person is going to complete them. So when if you're watching this and I'm talking to you and you're feeling it in your body and you're like, oh my gosh, that's me. I'm always wondering when is my dream guy going to arrive? When is my dream girl going to come back to me? You're working from a pattern. There's some piece of you that thinks that that's going to fill a void inside of you, or like your life's going to be more complete, or you can finally start your life when you get married, or when, you know, you're just feeling like something's missing from your life. That is a pattern. That is your ego. And when you can fall back out of that and become aware of it and not ask those questions and not buy those courses about how to manifest your special person, you just sit back knowing that if you live your life as if you already are the partner of your own dreams, you know, all the characteristics and all the traits that you want in a partner, you just start being that. And when you detach from the need of somebody to come into your life to do those things for you, normally that's when the person arrives. And that's something that I've been working on for so long, is there's a really deep pattern in me. When I do everything, I'm always thinking that, oh, when I do this, my person's going to arrive, because I've been single for so long. I've been single for like, I mean, I've had 1 or 2 relationships in the past 10 years. I was in one relationship for 9 years, had my daughter, then my daughter passed away, then we broke up. Then I didn't date because of the grief for like 4 years. Then I dated a guy for a year, we broke up. Then I was in connection with maybe 2 other guys just for short periods of time, like texting, and like I just didn't connect. I just needed something. I needed somebody that was on a spiritual path, you know? So I literally feel like I haven't had a partner in like 10 years. So I have this deep pattern in me that says, like, I'll be able to do more of my mission when my partner arrives. And that's false. I am already doing it. There's nothing missing, right? Like, you guys see me, you're probably like, no, Michelle, like, you're still going to do the same thing, whether somebody's cooking in your kitchen or not. But there's a belief in me that says, like, I will be more complete when I do have that person here. So that's something in me that I've always been working on, and I'm aware of it, but it still shows up because it's still in the way. And I think it's because for some of you and for me, like, if we're rejected since birth, we're deeply looking for that. We're finally looking for that one person who will hug us and be like, you're worthy of being here. I've been wanting you. I've been waiting for you. You know, I came into earth and I felt unwanted. I felt like my mom she didn't want a 4th kid. And then she wanted it to be a boy and I was a girl. So it's like, I came in knowing that, like, when I was being held, I wasn't really wanted. So now I'm spending my whole 41 years looking and searching and wondering who's actually going to want me. But that's the pattern. I have to realize that I don't need that. It feels great to be in connection with people and to share love and to be in community. And I even have this, like, to know that the universe loves you. But anybody that's searching to manifest a person into your reality, you're doing that from your pattern, and it's not authentic. So then you're going to attract inauthentic people and inauthentic partnerships, but they're perfect for you because they're going to help you see what? They're going to help you see the pattern. So you're going to attract somebody else who's in a pattern, and they're going to cheat on you. They're going to break your heart. They're going to ghost you. They're going to abandon you because the universe is trying to get you to get you to see that it's not authentic. This is not a match to your soul. It is a match to your wounding. Okay. Then we have co-create your days, switch up your routines, release the past, the universe adores you. We're going to do 6 more. But co-create your days is setting that intention. Like, if you do want to manifest something, ask the universe to show you what you need to let go of. Say, universe, show me my pattern. I would like to manifest this, and if there's anything in my way, show me. I really like that. I'm going to have to make a post about that on my community page. A new mantra. Okay. We're going to do 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's time for an intuitive day, which is like co-create your days. An intuitive day is taking 4 or 5 hours, getting in your car, getting on your bike, going for a walk, and not knowing where you're going to go. See where the universe takes you. If you get a nudge to turn down a street, turn. If you get a nudge to go buy food, or you get like a certain sensation in your body, a craving for pizza, get on your phone, GPS, pizza places, whatever one you feel called to. So you're strengthening that intuitive muscle of getting the pattern in you out of the way so that the universe can move through you and have you move throughout your day. I love talking about that, the non-doership, they call it. You're not the doer. The universe is moving you. Your pattern is what's stopping you from being able to move you, is because you're in fear or worry or saying, this is stupid. I don't want to work out. I just want to lay on the couch. And the universe is trying to move you to let you know, like, hey, if you go work out, you're going to feel amazing. Your vibration is going to be so much higher, and then you're going to attract more things. But your ego and the pattern is saying, I don't want to do it. You know, what's the point? It's your belief systems. It's always blocking us. And we have it's time to create. So 2 create cards, interesting. Be ready to receive. They will reach out. So the receptive mode might be somebody reaching out to you. Trust the timing, and you can trust that voice. So trust the timing that somebody's going to reach out. Be ready to receive. Trust your inner voice. I know for me, like sometimes offers come in, and if I'm in this weird bubble phase of just like, oh, I'm going through an ego death, I don't trust myself because I don't know if it's my pattern saying yes or no to something, if it's my need to please somebody else, or am I really doing it for myself? And I struggle with that because I was so deeply in certain patterns. If you're somebody who's a big people pleaser and you really struggle with saying no in your life, or you just, you struggle with saying no, meaning you say yes to like everything out of a fear of missing out, you might, I don't want to project this, but you might have a hard time letting go of that pattern and like trusting yourself to say, okay, do I really want to do this? Is this the universe guiding me to do something really cool and I'm letting my pattern get in the way? Or is this not an alignment for me and I'm overthinking it? So I get so much in my head about that kind of stuff, and I have to drop back into my body, sit in front of the mirror, connect with myself and say, do you want to do this? Kyle Cease is one of my favorite YouTubers. He's awesome. His teachings are amazing. He always talks about if it's not a 10, we're not doing it. A 10 is something that expands your soul. It's going to maybe going out to dinner with certain people. If they're not going to expand you, and if you're just going to sit there and listen to them complain about life the whole time, then don't go. Don't waste your time and energy. But if you love them and you do enjoy time with them, regardless of what they're saying and doing, then go. But it's got to be a 10. Only say yes when it's in a 10. And he gave this example about how he used to be a comedian and he got an offer. He went to an old comedy club that he hadn't been to in 11 years. He used to work there. He saw all of his old buddies and they were like, yo, you should come do a show tomorrow night with us. We can just riff. We can just be on stage and just whatever. And like, he could see that as the universe bringing him somewhere new to share his gifts more. But then he asked himself, is this a 10? And he's like, no. He's like, that's kind of just like, it's not really going to expand me. He was like, I'd rather be on a call with my community in my membership program, doing a one-on-one coaching session with somebody. He calls it the hot seat. He brings people on to his sessions and he coaches them and he helps them free themselves from their mind and their patterns. So he asked himself, is this a 10? And he said no to it. And I love listening to those stories because on the spiritual path, we can get confused with what's in alignment for us and what's not, who is safe for us and who is not, who is using us just for business and money and who is not. So we have to really like sit with ourselves and say, does this feel expansive? Does this feel fun? And your body will tell you 100%. If you feel tight and restrictive, it's not a 10. Okay. You can sense an energy behind somebody's words. You can trust that. I just got a message to tell somebody that when you're hanging out with somebody, right? If you can imagine like a cloud coming out of their auric field, they're giving off a frequency. I always like to see a frequency as like a cloud or a bubble. So you're submerging yourself into somebody else's frequency at the moment. Maybe you're watching a TV show, right? Maybe you're watching a horror film. Well, that horror film is pulling a bubble out of the TV into your couch, onto your living room or wherever you're watching it. And you're now in the bubble of horror. So you're feeling the emotions of the actors in the movie. You're feeling the intensity of the scene. And when you turn that TV off, what do we have to do? We have to get out of that frequency because we're now in it and it stays on us or in it. We stay in it. So we have to kind of pull ourselves out of that bubble. Well, when you're hanging out with certain people and you're saying yes to things like going to the dinner where somebody's being negative, you are then submerging yourself into somebody else's frequency And you then leave that and they've lowered your vibration. And if you are not good at cleansing your energy, if you don't know how to cut cords, if you don't know how to feel into, does this feel like me or does this feel like somebody else's energy? You're going to really struggle on your path. And that's why discernment is so good, and being alone with yourself and tuning in and being like, okay, oh, I feel that frequency. Like when I drive down certain streets, I can feel the frequency of the street. I can feel fear. I can feel worry. I can feel excitement. I can feel lightness. And it took me a while to do that because I always thought when I was driving that it was my internal energy, or it was my twin flames energy, or my soulmate, or whoever I'm connected to in this world, or maybe it's my mom's energy, because we're like really multidimensional. We can feel other people's energy from across the world. Letting go. How symbolic, right? We started off this reading talking about ego deaths and letting go of an old version of ourselves so we can step into the new you. And there's a pretty lake. There's a beautiful tree. The sun's coming in. Number 42, which was my basketball number in high school. Little old memories there. All right, let's ask Spirit what we're letting go of. What are we letting go of? Angel Wisdom Tarot deck. What are we letting go of? Renewal. Reviewing the past with compassion and forgiveness. Time to lead in a new direction. Clarity on your life purpose. In your heart, you know what to do. And there's a husband, a wife, and 2 kids. So it's kind of like looking to the spirit world for guidance. You're looking to a higher power to renew your path, to start fresh, to let go of the old and step into the new you. Let's get more from this deck. And then we'll do our money deck. And then we'll see what messages money wants to tell us today. Money, 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 money. Money. I love that I created that deck. That was a cool creation. I'll walk by my table during the middle of the day and I'll just grab the deck and cut it and be like, money, what do you want to tell me? It actually makes me think about money more, which is good because the more we think about it, the more we're in the energy of it and we're tuning into it. Okay, wise counselor, unity with a spiritually minded community. Ask the divine for help and trust the answers will come. Compare traditional methods with new ideas to see which is best for you. So this is testing out all the waters. Maybe you're feeling called to take a sound healing class, crystal bowls, or maybe a meditation class or yoga, or something where there's community. You're being called to connect with community. And sometimes that is just like, for instance, for me, I wanted more friends who do YouTube, because I would talk to people and they have their own profession and it's not what I do. And I want to be better. I want to expand. I want to be around other people who are doing what I'm doing and are expanding me. So I just randomly reached out to my friend Headley she's from Australia. She teaches about the law of assumption on her channel. And I was like, hey, we do the same thing. I was like, we should totally connect and be friends. And she started her channel right around the same time that I started mine. And we just became friends. And now I have this little community. I have my friend Avi. She has her channel. She does intuitive readings. She's more like an empowerment coach. She really helps women be more assertive and become more aware of people's toxic patterns with men and in the workplace and how women get treated a certain way. So we can build a community of people slowly, but sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone and ask. And like I had to DM Headley and say, hey, like we do the same thing. I found you first, like let's be friends. And we've done a couple Zooms since, and it's so nice. She helped me so much with my recent trauma that surfaced, because she had gone through the same thing. Well, we have the Empress. So we have the Emperor and the Empress coming through today. It says, take time to take action, give birth to your dreams. Creative projects will be very successful. Because remember I said we have 3 create cards or 2 create cards? Abundance and prosperity. So when I see the Empress, I always think of Chris Ann's deck, the Light Seers Tarot, where it's a woman who's pregnant and the earth, she painted the belly as the earth. So it's like you're giving birth to the world. You're creating from your womb space. Your sacral chakra is your creative space. So for me, like we were talking about my trauma, if anybody else out there, if you have any kind of trauma sexually or child abuse or any kind of struggle with your relationships and your sex life, not so much struggle, but if there's just anything down there that is unsettling from your past, you might struggle with creation. You might struggle with starting a YouTube channel or writing that book because that chakra is looking to be cleared. And when we clear it, we have physical ailments. You might have a bladder infection, UTIs. I just had like the stomach bug for 10 days where my body was just purging and purging and purging. That was my body releasing all of that trauma from all of those years. And I was unaware of it too. So the trauma surfaced and I wasn't aware of it. So this is saying like abundance and prosperity can be birthed through the womb space, through the creativity of the divine feminine when she releases any kind of restrictions or ailments. And again, you can ask the universe and your guides and angels to say, show me my pattern, show me a wound, show me what might be blocking me, and get out your journal and just let your hand write. I also just got guidance to tell somebody that, I said that funny, that the Akashic records are so fun. So if you go on YouTube, if you want to take a course, I'm sure there's courses out there too, but lately I've been learning about the Akashic records and how you sit into a meditation and there's a whole process to getting into the Akashic records. If you can think about it, if you go into space and you can see Earth from the universe, from space, and you go out of space and you imagine this cloud-like area filled, it's like a library in the clouds. That's how I envision it. I imagine there's a portal coming from Mother Earth, going up through all of my chakras, out the top of my head, and it's going out through the earth, up through the universe, through the galaxy, and then out of the galaxy into the clouded library, which to me is the Akash. So when we get up into the Akash and we open up, there's all of these ascended masters and angels and guides who are walking around grabbing books off the shelf for you. And all of the books hold all information about you. So when you enter into the Akashic record, you're saying, I am now opening the Akashic records for Michelle Thornton. You have to say the name of the person that you're opening it for. And you can access any information about yourself in the Akashic records. So it's a little mini meditation that you can do. Once you're in the energy of the Akash, you feel like, when I first did it a couple weeks ago, I just felt this energy of just lightness. I felt like a coolness. And then once you're in the Akashic records, you sit there for as long as you want and you journal and you ask specific questions. You can't just like sit there and wait to get downloads or to get messages, because it's a library. You have to know what book you want. So, when you're wondering like, what is the wound or what is the thing you're looking to heal, you can go and tap into the Akashic records, get in there and say, Archangel Michael, call on your angels, your guides, your guardian angel. Mine is Joy. I would say, Joy, please show me what wound I need to heal to move past this. Please show me my abundance block. Please show me where I placed my keys, because I can't find my keys. That's not normally like me. I always know where my keys are. But some people that lose things, they go into the Akash and the Akashic records tell them where the keys are. So it's a really powerful tool for intuitives to use and to get comfortable with tapping into that energy, because it's a wealth. It's literally a library of information, and I'm just learning. I want to get really good at it, because I want to be able to sit on a call with a client and I want to help them get the messages that they need. And if we can tap into their Akashic record, they can get that, and I can help facilitate that. And that would make me feel so good that I could bring those messages down for them. So I've been working on that myself. And a little part of me thinks that I called this ego death in to be able to do that. So I think maybe the purge that I experienced was me letting go the renewal energy, letting go so I can create more for myself. I can create more client situations where I can access more information for them. Okay, let's see. We have daydream and have confidence. I'll show you have confidence first. Feel free to screenshot to get my nail out of the way. I'll read them both to you. Here's daydream. Okay. Might need my glasses. It says, this is have confidence. Moving forward does not necessarily require you to have confidence in yourself. Remember I was talking about trusting yourself with this new, when you're in your new skin, it's like, oh my gosh, am I making a decision from a pattern right now? Or is this really my soul? So this, I think this card is saying that, is you don't have to have full confidence in yourself. Confidence in God is enough, along with knowing that God works through you and with you in all ways. Lean upon us if your confidence wavers, and we will have your courage and faith. Oh, I love that. Okay, daydream. You will more easily hear and receive our messages if you daydream regularly. Relax and open your mind in receiving without directing your thoughts. Just notice any feelings, visions, or ideas as if you're watching a movie. This is the seat of creativity. Yes. So aside from so this is the opposite of the Akashic records. This is sitting in silence and asking your guides and angels to show you what you need to know. Where the Akashic records, you want to have questions. You want to be as specific as possible. You could also just receive a healing in the Akashic records, which reminds me of this energy. This is kind of like receiving the light. You're receiving the energy through your system. But to daydream is just sitting in silence for an hour and just seeing what comes up. That's when you can birth something new. You can create, you can maybe build abundance. It literally, we've had so many creative cards come through, creative projects, co-create your days, the intuitive, it's time to create, it's time for an intuitive day. Those are all considered creation because you're letting God move you to what you're meant to be moved to. It says, this is the seat of creativity. So your imagination and meditation is where you create. And if you're feeling blocked, ask to be shown what chakra or what wound is blocking that creativity from flowing. 100%. Your patterns are always in the way of your creativity, your abundance flow, your happiness, and your joy, because your pattern it's the construct of the ego. Sorry, like stuttering there. It's the construct of your ego that was created in childhood that is literally keeping you on a loop, doing the same thing, expecting different results. And we know that that's insanity. You cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So we have to pause, we have to stop that wheel, the karmic wheel, the loop that's turning, and we have to do something different. We have to be different. And I took notes today. I was watching a video, which was very intriguing, about your teeth and about karmic knots and about how your teeth are numbered, and each number represents something. So I'm just going to briefly read these to you guys, and then maybe I'll post the video that I watched on my community page, because I'm not going to take credit for knowing this information. I just learned it from somebody else, which is one of my favorite things to do as a spiritual teacher, is to learn new concepts and then I deliver them in my way. But so your first two teeth, right here and then down here, they're considered ones. And then if you split your teeth, like right down the meridian, right down the middle, there's 8 on each side, right? There's 32 teeth, 16 top and bottom. So if you split, there's 8 on the bottom, 8 on the top, 8 on the top, 8 on the bottom. The first ones are ones. Ones represent divine masculine. So if you have any cavities or issues with your front 2 teeth, that is all about divine masculine energy. It's your self-worth, it's your belief systems, it's your ability to take action in your life. The next tooth is 2, which is divine feminine. It's all about your relationships, and like the foundation of your relationships, your family relationships. Number 3, the third tooth over, is being able to fend for yourself. So if you are having issues with any of your teeth, cavities, caps, root canals, you're going to want to go to what number tooth it is and then figure out the spiritual meaning. So you can write these down as well, just like I did. I wrote it down because I don't know. I just want to know about my teeth because the Thornton side of my family has horrible teeth. And she said, the teacher that was channeling these messages, she said, if you have one side of the family that has terrible teeth, it's all bad karma and it's all the lineage. So now we as light workers are here to heal, right? We're on a healing journey. We're going through these ego deaths. We're purging all these old patterns. Well, that's been carried in our family line for years, thousands of years. So if we can understand that if our body is holding a message for us saying, hey, you have this ailment because you need to heal this pattern, we can then identify the pattern and go right to it. So the third one is being able to fend for yourself, being able to protect yourself. The fourth tooth over is stability in the material world and in your reputation, being proud of who you are. You know, somebody who maybe made poor decisions is getting arrested, can't provide for themselves. They might have a lot of cavities or caps or root canals on the fourth tooth. Number 5, the fifth tooth over is harmony. This is about complete, if you think about the wheel card, it's balance, your health, your wealth, finances as well. Your health, your wealth, your spiritual health, emotional health, and mental health. Your sixth tooth, oh my God, I forgot to write it down. There's a blank for number 6. Crap. Maybe I'll drop it in the comments. Number 7 is alignment though. And I know what number 6 is. Come on. I remember scrolling back in the video, but anyway, number 7 is alignment. So if you're disconnected from your family and maybe you're not talking to your mom, or maybe you're not talking to a cousin or a sibling, you might have issues with that 7th tooth. You might have a lot of cavities back there, a lot of pain. You might have more gum issues around those certain teeth too. She did mention that. And your 8th is your wisdom. So there's a reason why your teeth are called wisdom teeth back there. It's because they carry the wisdom of your ancestors. This was so fascinating. She told me that, or she told us in the video, that if your wisdom teeth are surfacing and they need to be removed, this is proof that you've completed the pattern and it's time to release that wisdom. You don't need it anymore. But you want to keep your wisdom teeth as long as you can because they hold these codes and these messages, and they hold the knowledge of your ancestors that you were born into this body to complete certain lessons and cycles. And the teeth hold those codes. They hold the message. So we want to keep the teeth in until we learn the lesson. And unfortunately, a lot of dentists recommend extracting them even if they're not surfaced. And that's the key. You want to wait until they surface. When they're surfacing, that's your body saying, I just did a little click, like, lesson learned, you did it. And it's so wild. When I was watching this, I was always wondering why I was like 38 on my birthday getting my wisdom teeth out. And I'm like, why is this happening right now? I'm 38 years old. This normally doesn't happen at this age. And I was literally I had done so much healing at that point. I was about to create my mindfulness program, and it was holding me up because I couldn't talk because I had to wait for my mouth to heal. And you're not going to believe this, you guys, but on my x-ray, to see like how impacted they were and to see if they could get it out, there was literally a heart on the tooth that I think that they removed. It was either on the side that they didn't remove or it's on the one that they removed. But I literally had a heart shape on my wisdom tooth. And I was just like, all right, this is meant to be. I'm meant to get this tooth out. But the one tooth was surfacing. So for me, now that I know this, I was like, yes, that means I completed a lesson. I feel like my whole spiritual awakening the last 6 years has been me just excavating all the shit, all the egos, all the patterns. And I'm just like, when is it going to end? Because I feel like I came in with so many. I have so many different things that my family has: jealousy, snooping, lying, addictions. There's suicide, I think, deeply in my dad's lineage, and a history of mental illness. And I know I've tapped into that in my life for a little bit. So it's like the teeth hold all of this. So now that I've learned about this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I never had braces. So my front 2 teeth are starting to like cross a little bit. And she did mention that even that, like when your teeth are crossing, that means, I think the top is your father's lineage, the bottom is your mother. So the top two is how well my dad's parents meshed. Like so when my teeth are crossing over, that means they were codependent. When there's a gap, that means they did not mesh well. They did not lean on each other. They were not supportive. So I learned so much in this video. And even if like teeth are like twisted, or if there's one that's like way out of whack, if there's one tooth out, just like standing out in some way, that usually means somebody in your family lineage was an outcast, and you might be carrying the message or the knowledge about that, and you're going to have to heal that. And the way we heal it is exactly what I talked about in the beginning of this video. All healing is possible. It is just becoming aware of your patterns. Are you lying? Are you cheating? Are you stealing? Are you people pleasing? Are you posting for certain validation? Are you not acting in integrity? Are you littering? Are you telling people secrets? Like, all of these things come from your past. They come from your parents, those parents, grandparents, and so on, right? Kyle also talks about how, I'm going to do one more card. Kyle also talks about how your parents are a certain computer program, right? So say they're like Windows 95. Well, they came in with your grandparents' information, right? Maybe your grandparents were Windows 95. You know what? I'm just saying 95 is a number. But back then, it's like an old model. It's now 2023, and we're working with Windows 95. That's the pattern that is in us. And we are literally blasting out of that old Windows 95 conditioning and computer system. And we're learning that our bodies can heal themselves, and we're learning all these different things. So it's painful for us. We're setting the tone for our future. We are literally the ones that are responsible for shattering that computer and rebooting into a brand new one. And that's why light workers are usually wounded healers. We're usually here to help others heal, but we have to go through the wounding first. Wow, we got 3 cards. I guess Spirit does not want this to end. Yes, Elephant Spirit, learn from the past. We have to break these cycles, you guys. We have to stop these patterns. And just know that when I stopped all of my patterns, I'm going to do a whole video about all the different patterns that I've broken through, all the ego deaths I've had that I can remember in the last 6 years. I'm going to do a whole video on that so that you can become aware if you're acting from a pattern. But when we do this healing, it literally shifts our family. Our current family changes, our relationships change, everything begins to soften and come into harmony. We begin to heal with each other. Like, I have the best relationship with my mom now, where literally I'm 41, up until about 35, I was not saying nice things about her. I was wishing she was not here, and we used to fight, and I would scream F you in college and shut the door and leave. And I just felt so rejected by her. And she didn't understand why I hated it so much, hated the situation, and hated our relationship. I literally used to call her by her first name because I didn't want to identify with her as my mom, because she did not feel like a mom. And now at 41, I hug my mom, I call her mom, I changed her name in my phone to mom. We like nurture each other. I check in on her. And it doesn't change her patterns, but I changed my patterns. So now I'm able to receive her in her patterns. I can see that she doesn't know any better. So this is hope for you guys, that when you do this work, your relationships change because you change. You're not operating from a pattern anymore. How many, I should get, you guys should get $1 for every time I say pattern. Okay, the seahorse. Seahorses are my favorite spirit animal. I have 2 of them on my wall. Watch and wait. So this is kind of like that same energy. Be ready to receive. The universe adores you. Trust the timing. My seahorses on my wall are all about patience. Being patient on the journey. And then we have Canary, number 12. Sing your own song. And this is Divine Feminine. She is speaking her truth. She is in alignment. She's not in ego. She's not in her patterns. At least she's not in the patterns that like I totally have more patterns probably that I don't even know of. And in 2 years, I'm going to be on here saying another story about, oh my God, I'm so cringy about what I posted in that reading. I'm not aware of it, what I'm doing right now, but I'm trying to be as aware and as authentic as I can with what I have. So this is saying that divine feminines are breaking free and you're singing your song. You are not fearing what other people will think. Literally, this sweet little bird is singing. So it's almost like a mating call too. It's kind of like you calling out to your divine masculine or your special person, knowing that you don't need them, but saying like, hey, come dance with me, come sing with me. Let's like share life together. Now I figured out how to fend for myself. I realized I figured out how to protect myself. I figured out how to provide for myself. And it's like now you want to do it with somebody and you want to create a really cool life together. And it's because you did the work on yourself to know that you're not leaning on this person. You don't like desperately need them. You're just wanting to like dance with somebody and have fun. So that's the energy for the canary. But the seahorse is saying, watch and wait. Just be patient. Make sure you're not attracting somebody from a pattern because you'll just attract a disappointing situation, but it will be perfect because it's going to show you more of that pattern. So I don't want to deter you from dating people that if you're not sure if you're in a pattern or not, because that person's going to help you become more aware of your pattern. Somebody's probably going to get $50 for the amount of times they've said pattern. All right, lovies, have a wonderful weekend. I will be back on Sunday or Monday to do our weekly reading. Check out that teeth video. I'm going to post it on my community page. So fascinating, right? How everything is a message. We don't even understand half of what we could do in this world with our bodies. There's such a cool intelligence with all that they hold. So that's your reminder. Take care of your body. I know I've struggled with that. One of my patterns is to not take care of myself because I don't feel worthy of being here. So what's the point? Right? And that's so not me. I used to be somebody who was so driven by health and so driven to inspire, and I still am. But sometimes I fall into that category of, oh, I need a partner to cook for, or I need a partner to share a meal with. So then I don't make the meal nice for myself. So that's the unworthiness that I have to move through. So hopefully that message is for somebody else out there too. Cook a nice meal tonight, tomorrow night, tomorrow morning, make a nice breakfast for yourself, make your life experience as enjoyable as it can be for you. Look at yourself in the mirror and love what you see and celebrate how far you've come. All right, lovies, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.